going to get through. Didn't happen. They ended up getting knocked out by Dignitas, I believe. But into this, an interesting statistic, I always like looking at the pistol round percentage wins. They've got 12 pistol rounds, and they've only won 2. So their pistol round performances are really poor on train. And I'm curious as well if SK, with these new additions, with the effectively mix that they have, are they going to throw caution to the wind and just go for more of a pug-centric approach? Because that could maybe catch Immortals off guard. But anyway, here we go into the first pistol. Cillian pulls that off, doesn't actually chime in with any bullets, just gets the information and backs away. Free's going to be there from the connector. And it seems that Immortals are going to still press onto the site, even though the information is gathered. It is a very easy site to get the bomb planted on the B side of training these pistols. But a beautiful couple of frags from Cillian and Valder as well is going to keep this retake alive for a few more moments. Showtime is there for the standout players from Mortal actually in the qualifiers, but Modi and Freeze put down frags with USP. Now it's all on bolts. He has the Molotov and there's no smoke in the hands of SK, so he could just bounce it off the wall. In fact, there is pardon me, which has just been used from Glaive. He was picked up from a corpse. So that Molotov completely useless, and Cillian lands the headshot. Easy first round, great retake.
Yeah, quite standard. Retaking on B is really easy, especially when you get those 3 kills that quickly. It was just boom, 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 lights out for SK in that round. And Immortals, after getting the bomb plant, keeping it 5v5, looked all right for a moment, but it doesn't work out in the end, and that's another pistol round lost to add to the statistic that already looks bad on them.
However, even with having such a poor performance in terms of pistol rounds, they still were 3 for 3 with some pretty notable victories as well. So it seems it doesn't deter them too much. They still can bounce back with a vengeance, and Immortals will be stacking together, pushing in. If it's really pulled the trigger and thrown that incendiary, that could have been complete catastrophe for Immortals, but instead, SK playing it slow. So I guess we're going to have an explosion of ones pretty soon.
Yeah, the B site, obviously. These choke points, as you can see, very close to where you can actually just plant the bomb, so huge opportunity to just jump out and be able to do it without too much friction from the opposition and still taking their time. The thing is, they can hold for flanks, but say they spot somebody, they're going to be pushed into hitting the site anyway. So thankfully for them, SK haven't gotten frisky, aren't looking around too much. Or else most likely will just be able to get away with running in, but we'll have to dodge a P90 in the process.
Yeah, P90 almost tailor-made for this sort of position as well from Cillian. Close to mid-range against no armor, it will shred through Immortals if they push in, and judging from where the bomb is now residing, and this is going to be a B hit. I thought maybe we'd see a fake through Pop Dog, but it's going to be the all-out charge. The mission is to get the bomb planted, and it seems that mission is being failed. Although Bolt is going to connect a headshot, and a second as well onto Vald, so at least taking some weapons down with them. But as expected, SK are there. They did lose 3 players in the process, which is more than they were going to hope for.
I'm quite curious what the thought process is with staying inside of Whitehalls, waiting out your opponent without actually having any info on the other part of the map. I mean, if they stay and hold flanks and someone pushes, they don't even have a great advantage to get that kill. But not only that, they know that SK have so much information. So I wonder what the thought process is behind delaying a B take that long, and then ultimately just hitting it standard as if you would in the first few moments of the round.
So early buy up from Immortals as a result. Frags the bomb plant in the first round. Modi needs negligible damage from the grenade. Okay to just hold his position for now. But Immortals will be filtering out. And it should be mentioned that SK have some pretty big results against the likes of Astralis. They actually beat them 16-6 in E-League, which is a pretty crazy score when you consider it's Astralis that they're up against.
Lucas actually made it out onto the site, but his teammate goes down and actually tries to get in. Cillian spotted him and fell off. That was a really nice play. Now Lucas gets shot in the side of the head, and the bomb is down on the ramp upper.
Nice trade of frags for Immortals, though. They will regain the player advantage. The bomb, though, is dropped in a pretty nasty position. Oh, Valder's played this one perfectly. You can see the Bolt has no idea at all if he can get put down. Bomb dropped again, and he's now going to have to make a move up. Pop Dog should be into the embracing arms of Valder, but Tsar gets the kill. He had no right to take that one down, and now Freeze in a 1v2 that should never be stacked against him. There's options for Immortals as well. You can see he's assuming he's going to be coming down Pop Dog, but actually, and he's going to be taking it over on the B site. It's going to be a rough ask. He does have an incendiary and a smoke on the flash, but
bomb has been planted.
This would be a huge round for Immortals to pick up for themselves early doors. Freeze going to be moving in, misses the shot, probably going to cost him his life, and he's there to distribute the frag.
Jeez. You know, it does come down to that one frag. Henny getting that kill off of ladder, making it a 2v1 for Immortals when it could have been a 2v1 for SK is clearly the most important trait of that round, and it comes down to someone falling off a ladder and getting a headshot. But ultimately, there were other moments in that round where SK could have actually had a bigger advantage. I think when Valdit had the flank on the player who picked up the bomb after he had spotted it, he could have waited and actually had a full control moment, maybe gotten a 2 frag off of it, baited Immortals into hitting me right away. Instead, pulled the trigger, I think, a little bit too early. I feel like he's regretting that decision now.
It certainly was the key moment in Hot Dog. And as a result now, SK go from a fairly commanding position into the kill on Eco. In the pure sense of the term as well, full USBs, no grenades, nothing else to play with. You get 1 kill out the round, but that's it. So Immortals bounce right back, and you know, they're talking about the player to watch out for. Henny was eerily absent actually throughout the entire qualifiers, but especially on train. It's a map where he normally tees off, he has crazy reaction speed, and it allows for his aggressive warping to take hold, but he's definitely one player that I'll be keeping an eye on to see if he does perform today, because they missed him.
Train is so critical because you could stay at Ivy and be responsible for 3 choke points within a moment's notice, so.
This result's going straight out though. Hungry for blood, ruthless aggression. Up until the moment the flashbang pretty much put a red light in his face. Fraser Valder gonna make the most of this one. Henny will get back though. Up goes for the pop flash. Is he gonna be good for this frag? He's gonna be spamming through the smoke. Can't get it done, and now gets picked off from Glaive. So both the stand-ins have done their job for this round. And it falls to Bolts in a 1-on-4. This would be such a stinging round for Immortals to lose. They knew that SK would be in the force. Poor amount of weaponry. Bolts will not get any more up this round, and SK have stabilized.
Yep, they do it. Versus the explosive A-take from Immortals, which sometimes it can feel like an all-in when you try to do it. You say, this is going to hit them really hard. They're not going to expect it. We're going to get our 2 or 3 kills immediately, close out the round. They're not going to know what hit them. Well, instead, SK deal with the pressure quite well. And now Immortals, if they go back to a slow-paced round, it might be a little bit of an anticipated move, and maybe will make them question whether or not they made the right decision previously. Wow, nice pick from Henny, though, to open it up. 5v4 now.
Those are the kind of picks that I was talking about. Those are the kind of picks that Henny was not landing at the qualifiers. So if he starts to tee off, then Immortals for me will be a force to be reckoned with. Glaive dead and buried, momentarily silenced. We'll see him re-emerge in round 7, but the question is, what will the score be? Will SK be able to extend their lead once again to 2 rounds? Immortals only have a Tech 9 on Lucas, but with that first pick, that alleviates so much of the pressure and the presence on the board of SK. And they may be forced into some kind of aggressive play, and that's what's going to happen here. The pop flash goes in, but it wasn't on point, and Phelps will take that free kill all day long. The second kill comes in right behind him. Immortals are just locking this round down. Estilian can do nothing. What a take. That ended up being on A.
Yeah, that was a very fundamentally played round from both sides. I mean, the op getting its pick on T side, critically important, obviously, for Immortals. Henny makes that happen. And then they move towards outside, and because they're in their default, slow it down to the point that they cause SK to try to push, right? Expect it from the team that's down a man to try to look to even up. And Immortals, because they were in their default, were able to capitalize on that push, and that is what spurred them to actually push out and continue the A-take. So, well played from Immortals. It's the perfect thing to do, right? Get your kill, then slow it down, wait for the opponent to push. The opponent pushes, you get that frag, and then you close it out. And it will be with 4 alive. It looks a little bit questionable for a moment in that duel.
I think both players will be a bit red-faced at the moment, but it did go the way of Immortals, so back to a quality we move. The question has been answered. SK will not be extending their lead. In actual fact, I feel like their economy's in tatters again. It's been ebbing and flowing, but that's going to favour the terrorists more often than not, because of course, getting those weapons is so much cheaper. And again, full-on save from SK.
Now, Showtime is probably the man to watch here. He's going to be the heat-seeking missile. They're going to probably want to get as many kills into him as possible because he has that Mac 10, and there's the first one.
I feel like there's no real hope of SK getting anything out of this round. They do get at least a kill with them, but that's going to be all she wrote. No, a second kill. Bolts get caught. Gets caught from Roddy. SK do now have an AK to work off. They knew exactly where he was. Very isolated position. Immortals will take the lead.
Really threaded the needle on that one from what looked like E-Box. And now we're in a spot where I think it's most certainly going to be a buy. Most players from SK almost down to 0. Down a round and have picked up an op in the hands of Freeze. So now, will he go toe-to-toe with Henny? I doubt it. But will he be aggressive? I hope to expect to see that because, again, mobility a huge factor in whether or not your opera is good and Valda goes down, or actually gets a frag, excuse me, onto Phelps. That's a big one.
Now, one of the key members of Immortals has been put down. Well, the problem for SK is even though they get the first kill, which obviously is a massive plus, they just don't have that many grenades to use, and it'll be half a mind, when do we use them? You know, do they want to try and fend off the initial charge? Do they want to use them on the retake? This could funnel them into aggressive plays, and that's how their defense collapsed a few rounds ago when Valda tried to push into Team Main and the flash didn't work. So Immortals, yes, they're a player down, but they still have quite a bit of control.
With ladder control, we see the obvious A split coming out. You can tell by where the bomb is positioned. The smoke's going to be cascading over the site, and the split comes out.
Smokes down, flashes as well. Wave is on top of this. He sensed that the push was imminent. Holds his position perfectly, but now Immortals are deciding, okay, screw this, let's just rush to B instead. Henny opens up with the AWP, but it's going to be all on a ceiling off the field, and he catches Bolts with his pants down and will take down the frag. Henny now gets caught, sailing with 2 consecutive UMP kills. Very well played. A solid round for SK.
It initially seemed like an outer take was imminent, but they had the bomb rotate from T-Con all the way to inner, and I guess they could have potentially caused rotates out of the B site completely. I mean, it's not uncommon to see a team evacuate that site because it is so easy to retake, but instead, we had a man posted at schools who didn't move a muscle, so I think Immortals at the very least assume that you have someone in Z in a rotator spot, but not someone dedicated that close up in the site, so very good on SK to not rotate in that situation.
Immortals actually go for a double AWP pickup in a round where they were low on economy, and Phelps very nearly connects that shot, but instead just dropped down to 13. So on the receiving end of a battery, well, it looked like maybe he would be the one to pull the trigger and break the deadlock. Glaive, this is going to be a pure timing play. If he gets up, this could be completely disgusting for Immortals, and it looks like he's going to get at least 1 kill. He's going to get a second? No. Showtime will even the odds, but the damage has been inflicted elsewhere on Immortals as well. Henny's down 51, although Phelps will take down the frag, so he's keeping the dream alive for Immortals to regain the lead again. Very spread attack though for Immortals, but they have the time to play with.
Freeze has got to have impact quickly. Ops getting kills around him is inexcusable, and without him being able to get a frag to answer back though. It was his teammates to be a little bit aggressive, and that's why they went down. And now the 3 players of SK, all committed to outside, have a lot of coverage here, though it seems Immortals are going to be focusing their talents on B. Huge problem for SK. Well, wow. And Phelps, 10 HP after missing his first frag, comes away with 2 more kills.
That's crazy. SK, I feel like this round was theirs. It was begging to be taken, but instead it is slipping away ever so quickly. Asilian has to try and hold this down. If he can pick up a kill or 2, it'd be massive for his team. There's the first one. The time is ticking low, but the bomb is about to be planted from Immortals. Oh, Asilian comes in for a second. Is he going to land a third? So close onto Bolts, but he's brung this back to a 1v1. And there's Freeze from behind. Wow. Asilian take a bow. That was all his doing.
Wow. And that was 3 players from SK in the wrong site, down a man to win on the retake. I mean, that bomb barely got planted. They were fortunate enough to do that, and the cleanup just came out immediately. Nice hold from Asilian, well played from him to get that first frag, and also have so much patience on killing the player defending the planter. I mean, that was really nice from him. I mean, just to stay alive on the B site is a credible enough effort to talk about, but to get a couple of kills in the process as well means the world to your team on CT. And now, Asilian is going to be picking up an auto sniper just to pat himself on the back, and he's got a lot weaker opponents coming at him. Actually, I mean, there could have been an eco to come up, so spending this much money on an auto sniper might be a little bit of a liability, but I mean, it slows down the retake a little bit, but there's also more potential for huge damage on the initial execute.
Oh, for sure. And seeing as Sicilian's by and large been doing the business with assault rifle or UMP, this now pushes him into a different play style. He now has to play more passive and a deeper defense on the side. So this is where smokes and flashes really come good as well.
Yeah.
I do worry a little bit for SK. I completely agree. This could be a liability now for SK. Because Immortals have, more often than not, look too aggressive to be. And this is the situation I'm talking about. Let's see if we can pick them on the cross. There's the first one, and it is going to be complete mow down. They're not using their smokes or flashes. Immortals will get punished. There's Bolts back with an AK frag, and Bolts as well. Oh my goodness, this can't be happening in SK. You've just lost 4 players in a row. It's all on Moddy. This was a gimme round after those first 2 frags. Nice shot onto Phelps, but 2 more to find. And he's about to get flanked from behind. Henny is in hot pursuit. He's going to turn back around again and gets picked off. How did SK lose after the auto sniper frags?
I have no idea how that's even possible. I mean, the fact that we had 4 players rotating through Z, even after Path was smoked, and then still dying before able to get to new positions, like how the meta of that round's supposed to play out is the bomb goes down, if no kills come out, someone pushes down the site, right? Then trades start happening up close to Z, but everyone gets out of Z. That's kind of step 1, and they couldn't do that. So, I mean, because they died, there's no surprise they lost that round, but what a round to lose. Gave up the auto, such an expensive round, and it was versus a force-up from Immortals.
Yeah, it was like 4 AKs, maybe a Galil thrown in with a Tech 9.
And a Tech 9, yeah.
And not too great at all. And now, SK don't just lose the round, they're now in an eco. Phelps just looks straight at him!
And Freeze gets a kill off of that. Oh
Is Freeze a chameleon? Just blending in with his surroundings. Phelps is like, that's a weird looking train. No way, it's an enemy. Awkward. Morty now, USP. For all those shenanigans, the Immortals will still grasp onto this round very comfortably.
Oh, Morty had such a good feeling that someone was posted up on him. And will he win this duel? No, Henny, blood red from head to toe. Comes away with 1 or 2 HP, I think.
It's those moments you wish you had a P250 or a 5.7.
Right.
Here we go, Phelps is like, nope, didn't see anything. Okay.
4-3 Kappa.
Brilliant. Can you imagine Bolt's reaction? He's like, dude, what the hell was that? How did I just die from behind?
Bolt's like, I'm a good person. Why did this just happen to me?
That's a matchmaking moment. Either way, Immortals, as a result of winning the last round, but SK took the mass, M4's no AWP in play. Many grenades either, and to make matters worse, Phelps and Showtime have teed off with 2 opening picks. Looking so rough for SK, who for so long were looking in command, but now, in the blink of an eye, it's back to a 3-on-3, albeit from the retake, and Henny's in the perfect position to strike. He's actually shot prematurely. This is the second shot as well. Showtime will do the business with his AK. Come on, Henny. Come on, Henny, please.
5th time's a charm.
Terrorists win.
Yeah, that's the write-off. That's the write-off. They still win the round, right? What's interesting to me is how many times that Immortals, excuse me,
previously
are committing so much attention to outside and then actually just giving SK the running around, hitting the B site. I mean, using that many resources on a site that I guess, you know, B is such an easy site to fake, right? Because people will give it up. So it's kind of interesting to me to see so many resources being used on a site that it should be easy to cause retakes, or excuse me, rotates without that.
Another eco from SK, and looks like it's going to be a carbon copy of the other times. Immortals will just be putting their foot to the throat of SK and taking this one comfortably on for the judge like Molly, accompanied by a Cillian and Freeze who try and push up behind, but it's only delaying the inevitable. Showtime chilling in the bathroom. Oh! Get wrecked. That's what they were looking for. It's a nice little dosage of money and also the AK as well. Now Cillian, the backstabber. The last remaining counter-terrorist. Pop flashing through into Pop Dog. 2 players in there. It's a flash as well, and Phelps picks him off through the wall into the head. Immortals will take a convincing lead now on their T-side.
I wonder actually what that kill does for their economy moving into this round. Maybe it's not a situation where without this $1,500 right here off the knife in the back, there may not be an op. And I think Freeze, actually with a little bit of money remaining, it might have made the difference. I didn't actually see if a drop happened or not, but They do have that ever-important op. A single player inside. Just shoulder spotting. Asilian drops his smoke instantly. And again, SK right now are conditioned to expect an outer take that turns into a fake. I wonder what that means if Immortals decide to smoke outer and then hit it as well. Madi, though, having Ivy control, also has some peace of mind. Sharing this info with his teammates is enormous.
Yeah, this allows them to keep 2 players on B, because they know the A hit is going to be very one-dimensional, should be able to be fended off. They also have Valda, who's in the connector side of A, so he can quickly wrap himself around and be that third, almost sweeper role. That being said, Immortals are going to put some doubts in the minds, maybe trying to push out. They lands the headshot. This is a great round so far for SK, shaping up perfectly. And there's Freeze, and this is really all off to the result of Modi going for that push and finding the information, but SK, convincing round. I don't think they lost a single point of health.
Yeah, it was awesome, and I think it was partly due to the confidence they had that that was going to be their site. And if it wasn't, that they knew, okay, if a split comes out outer, at most, it's going to be T-Con and ladder, right? We don't have to worry about Ivy. We also have a player that can big flank T-Con, and so I think they were just very comfortable with the amount of information they had that allowed them to focus. And, you know, Asilian, even versus the fakes and everything, has been able to get 2 kills in a round. I mean, he's been doing solid on B, and there's a really important opening frag. Wait, looks for a second one. Wow. Showtime gets decapitated on his way down.
A little surprised that Showtime would just run straight through, knowing there's a player there.
Yeah,
maybe
no trade.
go for the surprise attack.
Was making a bit of an assumption there that, oh, you know, the kill came out, maybe this guy goes out, reloads. But instead now, an op and AK down. SK up 5-3 in terms of players.
Looking good for SK in the final round of the half. Bolts have seen this before. They went for a pop flash into a push, but this time SK decided not to pull the trigger. Second flash goes in. Again, not pushing in.
Oh, he's so close to just seeing the head of his opponent there.
See just a millimeter
oh my God.
and Henny converts it. Glaive, the man with the opening 2 picks, has been put to bed. For this half at least. Great shot. Oh, what will that mean for the remainder of this round? A round that SK desperately need to get their hands on. Freeze the next to fall, interestingly enough, actually out in the open without any crossfire. Gives his life away, and that's a crucial kill. Especially considering that Asilian is low. Henny misses the shot. But he does get vital information. 22 seconds left. They're going to have to start to make a push for the A site. Get this bomb down. Valda finally picks up bolts, but a bit too late for Modi. And he misses another one, but Asilian's by himself. Charging through the smoke, using that flashbang. A 2-on-1. We've seen him play pretty solid so far for SK, but he's made noise now. And he will get picked off from Lucas. SK will not be getting them themselves the 7th round, but that shot from Henny, though.
Yeah, that shot from Henny. I mean, both those kills, really good kills. And the funny part is that Henny actually missed a lot that round, and yet probably had the most impact of anyone, right? And that just means that he's looking in all the right spots. I mean, he's being a very good, or very big asset to his team. And just being able to spot that is so good. That opening kill allows his teammates to know that here's a player down dedicated to A. We know we can take the site. Makes it a lot easier, less angles to clear, and so on. So, really nice half from Immortals overall. Very dominant round. They did win a couple of them. SK should have almost certainly been able to claw their way back into, but couldn't. And are only left with 6 on their CT side.
Starting to see Train edge towards the T side a little bit more recently, where a lot of T sides will pick up a whole bunch of rounds. So I definitely wouldn't write off SK. My worry and concern for them is with 2 people stepping in on fairly short notice, what are their T strats going to be like? Is it going to be more of a pug-centric charge? Are we going to see many strats implemented from SK here? There are a couple of doubts in my mind, but let's see how this one plays out. Second half is starting. SK desperately need this pistol.
So they typically, SK play very slow on T-side on Train. They focus a lot on IV control, but they default very heavily and they wait out time quite a bit. I wonder if anything changes, considering the fact that they've got 2 new members here. Ooh, that's a good nade.
Hello.
Oof, that's a really good nade.
That's going to sting, especially as Freeze seems to be the allocated play to try and causing nuisance from Team A. That's going to definitely put him on the back seat. Here comes Phelps, though. It actually has a chance to reload in amongst the smoke. Lives to fight another day. He tapped left, right, and center. Valda decides, okay, I'm going to push through myself. Want something done. For it yourself. Now Valda has been put down, leaving Freeze in a 1-on-2, but only 31 health left. He's about to get picked off from behind. Or is he? Bolts misses out on a few shots, a few more. Gets picked off.
Not like this.
And Showtime Freeze gets the clutch. Oh no. Bolts is just face desk.
If you could pick your own crossfire, right, on any map, in any situation, how much better of a crossfire could that have been than to have both sides of the angle cut off by 2 people and still miss the frag? Freeze with 1 HP gets the Glock 1v2. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. How important could that moment be in the grand scheme of this map? Yes, SK is still up against it. Yes, they're struggling. But that kind of clutch can inspire players. Plus the fact that now buys them another lifeline back into trade. That is going to be discouraging to say the least for Immortals if SK can bring this back to 9-9.
That certainly stings. Well, you can't ever ask or expect an ego to be converted, but if there were ever a situation, now would be the time.
10 out of 10 for the backflip bolts. Nice nade from Modi.
9 out of 10 for the dismount, though.
Won't be getting up anytime soon.
Yeah.
The Models did go for force, so they've committed heavily into this round with the Eagles. They've got Kevlar as well. A Kit stacking on the B side with just Phelps, who's watching from Pop Dog. So SK with the information they've been given from that first kill, their positional advantage, their weaponry advantage. No, Vasily gets caught! And he's gonna get picked off in the meanwhile, so does Showtime. He gets himself a frag. SK are laboring their way towards converting this round, but again, it's been so close. It's still fancy to get this 3-on-3, because the Mac-10's been picked up for Immortals for Showtime, and he will be ripped off from Freeze. Players will be coming from the backside of the train from CT. Lucas tries his hand with a few opening deeks and will be repelled in kind of vanquished off the serve from Valda, all on Henny. He's been spotted. Surely his days are numbered. P250 is all he has. He's survived much longer than I would have thought he had. But 9-8 the score regardless.
Whatever spawned that decision to rotate to the outer side, I'm not sure what piece of information set them off, but it was a good one, and hitting outer in that moment made a lot of sense. Now, SK could have brought that round a lot closer. It could have come down to a 1v1 if they went to B, and instead they kept 3 alive, so very good cleanup from them. Get around that little sketchy. It's so funny when you see Phelps coming up that ladder, and with that deagle and you spot someone, you know you got to get up the ladder to start shooting, but that means you have to aim off of them, and that's what's so awkward.
Money should be in the money. 3 kills, Mac 10. Money in the bank.
Mac Daddy.
Certainly is. Henny and Phelps again have the difficult task of taking anybody down. The more of a mistake they have to feel from SK than they play from Immortals to win from this point. He's as clear-cut around as you could ask for. SK will be picking up the 9th. Keeping his been alive a little while longer. Actually did do quite a bit of damage to a few players, but 9-9.
Yeah, that becomes a situation where you literally have to pre-fire to be able to hit a shot, and Phelps using that mechanic. I mean, that's how you have to play in those situations, so got some good damage in. No kill, but it's tied up. Immortals now moving into their first rifle round versus SK on CT side. Quite telling for them, and we see Glaive hanging on to this UMP, and that's because it's so good that you can hang on to it. If you lose the round, you have a rebuy for next, and you have a great opportunity to either get a kill or pick up an AK from a teammate who have died. So,
yeah. Plus with the UMP as well, he must know that Immortals wouldn't have had a great deal of economy, so probably skimped out on head armor because it does nothing against the AKs. So UMP has good armor penetration and can still rip the head off shoulders. This is still a very potent, viable weapon in this circumstance for SK. Not worth throwing the money away either. Vasilian taking a leaf out of Phelps' book, who consistently push from this kind of position. Speaking of the man Phelps, he is gridlocked down in the smoke and coming around in the back of them. There's the first spray in the second. plays from the Brazilian, and now he's in a position to strike again, single-handedly taking this round away from SK. Reese or Modi have their work cut out for them, make that just Modi. We've seen him doing good work with the Mac 10. Is he able to rinse and repeat with the AK? Spotting 2 players, nice shot onto Phelps. He doesn't have the bomb, but it's in a position that Immortals don't know of, so for all he knows, I was going to say for all they know he does, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nearly, very close.
Yeah, quite close indeed. Oh, Madi, very, very good aim. I mean, definitely I'd say best on the team, and here's Phelps with just superior positioning. I mean, not more to say. Actually getting 3 kills off of that too. And that was waiting for a third member to peek him. He got what he wanted. But abusing the SK smoke there, basically telegraphing the play and seeing, all right, once the smoke goes down, I know they're going to try to split outer through the right. I'm going to wait behind them and then take advantage of the fact that I know exactly what they're going to do. Right? They're telling me what I'm going to do.
Oh, Phelps. Look how aggressive this is, and if he plays this perfectly, he could have a hat full of kills. The first one down, the second, and he's been looking for a third, just about misses out, but the information and the damage done to Glaive in the meanwhile from Henny on Ivy just makes this such a sweet round for Immortals. After losing 4, they weren't into a great buy this round either. SK actually had the better weaponry.
Wow. Off of the fast flank, and you know, that's a situation where you wish you just had a bigger gun to take advantage of what you see in front of you. But getting the 2 kills in the first place is more than good enough. Also doing damage there, I think, to Glaive. So now SK have just been caught with their pants down and have decided to instead look for new information. Henny, though, because his teammate was hurt, or because Glaive was hurt, excuse me, gets away with a 1-shot kill off a scout.
Damage that Henny himself inflicted earlier. And Lucas with a quick-fire double spray. SK now backed against the wall. Looks like Immortals have been able to get through the worst of it. This is the Phelps play. Very nearly gets a third. Did about 28 damage, I think, to Asilian overall, but great play all the same. And that's just off. I mean, he has some serious balls with him, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean,
he just players would go for that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he just picked the spot. He's like, I'm going to push ladder this round.
Yeah.
Not only that, but I'm going to do it right away, right? So wasn't looking for any information, was going purely off a read, and it paid off in dividends. I wonder how many times you can get away with that, but ultimately it's resulted in a save. So,
whoops, a bit awkward, but information has been gathered. Showtime will dust himself off. The thing is, though, even though this information has been gathered, they've used a lot of utility for this initial charge, and SK could very well just back away and go down Pop Dog. There's no guarantee that they will charge onto B, and I think that's why Phelps is going up for this. He wants to get the info for himself, see firsthand what's coming up against them, and now the floodgates have opened. But Immortals have put down a dam. That being said, Modi is a one-man wrecking crew, 2 frags for him. But the P250 has kept this round alive for a few more seconds. Phelps now going to go for his timing double spray. You've got to say, Immortals' timing is on point so far today.
This is why Vendetta shouted out Phelps there on the desk. I mean, this is it. Like, he is just playing with so much confidence right here. Positionally is on point, and not only that, but he's getting multi-kills every single round. Well, the bomb does sneak by. Little chance here for Freeze, who has no armor to make anything of this round. But maybe might be able to get away with a kill.
He's playing it so well. So incredibly well. As soon as he comes up, though, he is going to die. And you can understand why he went for the play to get on top of the train. It gave him the best chance of maybe getting a kill or 2. Phelps with 4 kills in that round.
Phelps is in such a good place mentally, you can tell. He's just playing with so much confidence. Everything he's doing, he's getting away with. And it's because he has just such a good beat on what's going on. And not only that, he's hitting all his shots, getting more kills than he's supposed to every single round. So he didn't fall off up there. He just waited for the perfect moment to re-aggress, and it wasn't just because he felt like being aggressive. Already up to 26 kills. Like, yeah, that was a 4K on an eco, but did you see each of those kills? Those were smart.
And even without padding his stats in the eco round, he still hit 20 bomb comfortably. Yeah. So he has been the determining factor. He has been what's kept Immortals afloat.
No damage dealt in that frag.
That's unfortunate. Saw the player, didn't manage to get anything done. Also got targeted up a tiny bit from the incendiary that flew his way, down to 91. Feel the burn. Henny, get out of there. He loses 58 health. That's a rough chain of events for Immortals. But then again, Henny has the AWP. Doesn't matter if you have 100 health or 10, you can still make it work. Just position yourself properly. It'll be easy pickings. Looks like it's going to be a set play here, Lewis onto A. Or is it going to just be a fake?
Well, we've seen that before, and it looks like, yeah, T-Con is the motive.
And he has to handle the first shot, just speaking before that. No matter how much he's tagged in line up for Lucas, but he will get put down from Valda. And now that affords SK the chance to push through onto the site. The bomb's just behind Valda in the very capable hands of Glaive. He's going to be planting green train side.
Bomb has been
Freeze in the
planted.
meanwhile. Maybe a duel to the death with Henny, who snaked his way around, misses the shot, does get the second one, the much harder of the two, and then very nearly spanks another player through the smoke. That's going to be Valda who takes out Bolt. That in a nutshell is Henny. He's such an exciting player to watch, but so frustrating at the same moment. And now Mori comes around from the back and Showtime's been put down. Immortals, who looked like they were going to finally cruise towards this victory, then brought back a couple of pegs.
Yeah, cool pincer move there. We saw similar play from Immortals in the first half, but instead of turning it into some type of fake, they decided to run right out T-Con, made the frags happen, and ultimately put a round on the board. It's Immortals now who have what looks like a very tattered buy, have actually opted to put all their money into ops, 2 ops right now.
Yeah, we've seen them do it on the T side as well. They like to go for this pick central composition, and if it works, you look like a genius. If it doesn't, you just get slaughtered. That's the problem. There's so much pressure now on Phelps and Henny.
Oh, he saw it coming. I don't know if he was completely cognizant of it, but I think it was called out that they have been making this play almost every round. And oh, they're getting very aggressive, but not getting paid off.
Oh, Phelps can't see a single thing. The snowstorm descends in Glaive. More sweep him aside. Bolts now trying to get those 1 digs into effect, but greeted by fire.
Wow, see how many hoops they had to jump through just to neutralize Phelps there, but they played it perfectly, right, every single time.
Herein lays the issue with going for the double op setup. They now have very little weaponry to work off. No real grenades other than incendiary that's just been thrown out from Showtime. A flash that's still in the back pocket of Benny on his utility belt. Lucas is about to get aggressed on the smoke, will save his life. They could line up for him. 1 kill. No, doesn't actually get it. There's a team kill from Glaive onto Athelian. Lucas did the damage beforehand. A bit of confusion for a few moments. Showtime.
Bomb has been planted.
Forward at 5-7.
We have got to call the buy into question, right? What was the strategy behind it? And not to say that it wasn't justifiable, but that it seems like once everything is done and dusted, that it's hard to see what Immortals were going for and how they plan to make the impact of the ops. How they plan to make an impact of the ops. Now, it did seem like Phelps had the opportunity to frag there. He's very close to it, and we didn't have eyes on Henny, so there might have been more to the round than we see by the results, but ultimately, it's resulted in Immortals saving right now when this could have been a buy, and they could have had maybe half armor, a couple of grenades last round. A good chance to win it, but a good chance to do damage, and then a great chance to win it.
They'll be biting off more than they could chew. Now, will be another full-on eco, this time in the hands of Immortals. We saw this a couple times from SK on the CT side. Mac 10 from Modi has called this perfectly in terms of the economic situation, and last time he had a Mac 10 he got a triple kill from a similar position actually on the ramp. So he will take point for his team. Again, it's an expendable weapon, no huge deal if he loses it. SK not going to give anything away for free, not when they're breathing down the necks of Immortals now. And to the next round, Immortals he's pulling a trigger with a buy, but the question is, can they make it work? Modi's already pushed all the way through onto the CT spawn, and now the heavy stack of CT members will be coming through connector. Glaive is there, there will be a crossfire down if he waits any longer. Here comes Modi from the back. How many frags can he pick up for himself? This is going to be the one for now because the CTs have split up. Modi could be walking right into a trap. He's not going to expect the player behind him to be Bolt. He's tapping away and then just spins around. Again, you wish for any weapon other than the USB there.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, but 12 to 12.
The job is done. Just a textbook scout there from Modi. Use your $1,000 weapon to go and get info on a site, maybe get a kill or two, but first and foremost, make sure that it's not the stacked spot. And even if it is, you only give up the MAC-10 and then have your teammates in position to either hit it right behind you or be ready to go to the other site. And that's what happened there. Monty scouted it out, didn't see anything, gave his teammates information, they went and won the round.
Phelps, what can you get done? You're the top fragger, he just saw the arms peeking around the wall. He wasn't expecting a triple stack. Walked into a firing squad. And it's Freeze who leapfrogs forward another kill. And that's a big passage of play as well. Not only is it a weakened CT side, but it is the top fragger, the man in form of Phelps.
Phelps is absolutely getting ahead of himself some of these times. And it's only easy to say that because he's not getting the frags, but to make another solo push and not have anything to show for it is kind of questionable. And there's a second frag to follow up. And again, that second frag much easier to get when it's 5-4, so.
Much more difficult for Immortals to set down successful crossfires. But hold the phone for a second, because Henny has put down Glaive, although eats a grenade right afterwards. Glaive did a lot of damage before falling. No free frags today for Immortals. This has got a whole lot worse. Lucas, what can he get done with the M4? First frag goes his way. The bomb now on the A side. This will be coming through. Freeze misses his opportunity. And how costly will that prove to be for SK? The bomb will be getting planted momentarily. Lucas relocating. Actually, Asilian decides to fake it instead. He's waiting for the push. And this is giving Lucas a chance to relocate in close enough proximity. This could catch SK off guard. If they're not careful, Lucas could clutch this very easily. You're coming up from Ivy side now. And judging from the positions of SK, I was about to say they didn't have the crossfire down, but he's made movements, he's made noise, lands the frag onto Asilian. There's so many positions though, it's why it's a nightmare to retake on A that he has to cover from. And he doesn't have a kit either, so it's an easy peek, but Freeze actually misses the shot. It doesn't seem like it's going to matter, there's not enough time, but he gets charged down.
And that's it, wow.
And if Lucas has a kit there, that would have been such a horrific round from SK.
Yeah, he could have won that. That's very true. I mean, that was extremely close. Now, it doesn't happen, and again, I've just the entire round just going over the moments here in these last couple where Phelps has given up the opening kill really early on without a trade, right? And it's versus the Ivy control of SK both times. Now, SK, if they really want Ivy and they send 3 people there, they're gonna get it. And if they go 4v4, they're gonna be completely fine with it. So you have to wonder, what's Phelps doing there alone? If he gets the kill and he goes 1 for 1, they don't come out ahead. They're on CT side, they've won most of their rounds. He's a very important person to have late into the round. Why risk him like that? I mean, he got away with it when, you know, it was that UMP push-up ladder, but that's a UMP, right? To do it with the op, it seemed like, yeah, he saw an opportunity, okay. But to go to Ivy again, when SK are playing it extremely passively, taking all the necessary precautions, and then just trying to get in their face with one rifle and no flash, it makes you wonder, is he feeling himself too much?
It's very possible.
Is he really feeling himself?
It is possible. But the only thing I can think of is that the rest of his team had such a lack of utility that maybe he felt pressured to make a play. He was like, if we stall this out, they set play, we have nothing to stop the push. We don't really have that many weapons. I think they had a FAMAS maybe in one of their hands.
Right.
So maybe that's the reason why, but I agree. You know, pushing by yourself, even if it is a 1-for-1 trade, that still favors the terrorists.
Yeah.
Especially when you're top fragging and you're playing like a monster. Like you need to be the player that's in the middle of the rounds, dictating the pace and like really capitalizing on mistakes from SK.
No, but absolutely a good point. If you're low utility, that's not desperation. It's just a smart thing to do because you're so low to try to get an advantage in terms of frags as opposed to play the tactical advantage of like waiting out time. But you know, just to spend $200 or $300 to make that push that much more effective, or even commit 2 people to it instead, may be a better option for them. But ultimately, Phelps needs to be the one to stay alive. Like we saw how powerful he was when they actually took Ivy and they came up. He stood behind that smoke. He got 3 frags off of that because of his great positioning, right? And even though his aim is on point, he's so much more valuable, I think, as a thinking player. And, they're kind of using him as a mad fragger. But it might be his own decision, right? Maybe it's him just saying, like, I can do this, I can get away with this.
And perhaps that's what they're discussing right now. You know, do we just slow it down a little bit? Do we play a bit more smart? Lucas has the M4, the rest of the team pretty much filtering with nothing. And keep in mind that SK have picked the perfect moment to start to make a comeback. Not only are they 30-12 in the lead, this is an eco by and large from Immortals, so they win this. They're just a couple of steps away from an upset, and I think it's fair to say this would be a pretty big upset. SK would not have been favored for many people to take this match, especially with 2 stand-ins.
You'd have to be crazy to have bet on SK.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Pretty much. But it looks like they are in the position to make some magic happen. That being said, Immortals still with this lie-up, and after the tactical pause, still going to be very much a contender in this round. Super split approach from SK. 2 players IV, 1 going around team main, the other 2 filtering out around Pop Dog, just making sure the Immortals don't push up anywhere on the back. So very reminiscent how Nip were playing the Cash T side, just effectively saying, come at us, bros. You don't have much. You know that if we execute, we're going to take you down. You have to make some moves.
Moment there where Freeze took a spot of damage. I think they are a little bit worried about a push coming out. Maybe not quite so aware that Immortals are as broke as they are, but either way, looks like they're going to 4-1 inner versus 1 person that's Showtime. P250 to his name.
Surely not much health. There we go. Put down. No damage inflicted apart from 8 onto 3. While now watching, making sure no one wraps around the back of SK. Bolt's the only player to chime in with a frag. Phelps is in a position that could yield some results in terms of frags. And is he going to go for the knife? Well, we're going to have the second knife. And is he going to go for the knife on Freeze? He's scampering away now. He doesn't want to make any noise. That's got to be butt-clenchingly frustrating.
No, you can. There's a piece of garbage there you can fall on. Oh.
Not that one, though. But Freeze hasn't heard it. He's about to get shanked. Oh, he turns around and still gets killed. Oh. I think for a second there, Phelps' heart skipped a beat. He thought he'd missed his chance.
Yeah, if he actually had a kit, he could have just jumped down and defused that. Yeah. The player's quite far away.
In fairness, though, to Phelps, not only does he get a knife, which obviously boosts his economy, but he keeps an AWP. So this bolsters the buy now, the CTs.
Yeah, incredibly so. That's the most salient point there. And we have a Tron cosplay. Very cool.
Oh, man. Phelps.
That's a giant pickup, yeah, definitely. I mean, wow, they did that. And instead of just taking that off and maybe getting another one, they've also put an auto sniper on the board. So this, if anything, will slow them down, right? I mean, whether they like to or not, they've put on the lead boots. This is just, they don't have many options to be too aggressive. And, you know, to give up their riflers who are essentially supporting their operas right now would be a huge mistake.
Well, at this point, it's pretty much just a turret defense.
Yeah.
For Immortals, they can't afford to play aggressively at all. The retakes are going to be really rough. On top of that, auto snipe with double up composition of retakes just not going to happen, more than likely. So it's do or die.
Yeah, when SK win, they win Ivy, and it seems like here, I'm not sure what the idea was. They went for that run boost again, maybe to cause Immortals to react to it, but have completely forfeited anybody over there. And I think it's because they've done such a good job of getting that kill now that they feel like they don't have to spend players watching it. And, oh, the corner of the smoke. Such a powerful spot for Lucas. I'm not kidding.
Health house from SK are going down. The bombs are getting planted as well. Phelps looking for the no-scope. Unbeknownst to him, the bomb was planted just on the cusp of the train. 5-on-4 retake, and this is where the Ops and Auto Sniper Rifle could very well falter. It's going to be Bolt with his M4. What can he get done? He got a frag just before falling, and Valda's there as well, and that's all on Phelps. They committed so many funds into this round. He's got to run with his P250 as a result of having the AWP. Player goes past him. What can he get done? Valda picks him off. You can see what he was going for, but frag comes in nonetheless. 15-12, 3 match points for SK Gaming, and it's not going to be a great buy for Immortals here either.
My goodness, and Valda, oh man, the new guy on the team.
Actually, better than I thought it would be. Fair enough.
What's that?
Better than I thought it would be.
Oh really? Yeah, I mean, yeah. But yeah, I mean, yeah, still 2 ops. I don't even know how that's possible, but maybe it's because of that pickup, right? Saving the op in that previous round.
Yeah.
Bolstered him so much. The knife kill as well, funnily enough. And yeah, but Valda getting the 3K entry. Lucas had such a good spot, and oh, there's one round where they don't run boost over Ivy and actually get punished for it. So I guess they were surprised to see that it wasn't Immortals to try to pick the boost. Instead, they just picked the cross and have been rewarded. So Immortals calling them out for trying to condition them. And now for once in such a long time, I have to say, have gotten the opening frag. 5v4 for Immortals, but 15-12 for SK. I mean, I don't want to say they have rounds to work with, but they have got to be more comfortable than their opponents in this situation.
Oh, absolutely. See now, playing every second at their disposal. You're not going to be pulling the trigger too early. You're not going to be giving away anything for free. Feel like it's going to be a set play onto A. They're throwing 2 smokes over, 1 connector. One to the side of the bomb. Meanwhile, though, the bomb is still up around Pop Dog, so this looks like it's going to be a fake to me. Yeah, this is going to be a fake. They're throwing the smokes onto the side, trying to keep all the vision away while they simultaneously push into the B side. The problem is it's a 2-on-2, and Immortals haven't bought this fake at all. The bomb's dropped in a horrible place. The flashes are going to keep the remaining SK members at bay. And Immortals have held on. You have to assume from this point they don't lose. So SK, back to the drawing board, going to try and save the AWP and the AK for the next round.
Yeah, and it looks like they'll be able to do it, but Immortals, man, they stood strong. They worked the rounds exactly like they were in the past. The most previous round they lost towards an outer split, but they got that pick at Ivy early on. One of the first times we've seen them get the opening kill. But in the other rounds where they had got the opening kill, they almost always converted them. So, you know, I think it's good to see them just go back to what works as opposed to appear to be so desperate to change it up for fear that SK will throw them some kind of curveball. You know, I think Immortals don't feel comfortable unless they are in their opponent's heads, you know. But the thing is that that's really shooting themselves in the foot, right? They have the aim to play the standard game, and they're on CT side. Why not play those advantages?
Oh, and he has his crosshair perfectly placed, poised for the frag. It's Glaive that has his dancing shoes on. This is so scary to watch from his perspective, knowing what we know. And this could be a huge kill. It was the last time when Glaive died first, and he decides, nope, not feeling it. Waiting for maybe that push through Ivy from the Immortals. And realized it wasn't forthcoming, just back on off. And also the economy from SK, they are going to be able to buy up fully both rounds coming up after this. There's no easy rounds for Immortals.
Right.
They're not going to break the economy here. This is the long way back.
I think Asilian just got dinked.
He did, yeah, down to 60 through the wall. Looking to bounce back with smoke. This is going to be the execute. It's forthcoming right here, right now. Lucas is in prime position to strike, and he whiffs to the first kill, but doesn't get the second one. Meanwhile, Mori comes in for 2, and again SK now have the player advantage. And it's going to be on that man Phelps, the top fragger for his team, the man that's been in the thick of the action. Showtime goes through the smoke, he's looking for a second frag, and look at this movement actually from Valdi. He's going to be pushing through Connector with the bomb towards B. And now it falls to Phelps, and it'll be fitting for Immortals if it was Phelps that clutched this, because he has been the man. Bomb planted. He seems to think this is the back of the site, but that's not the case. Drop down makes noise, and now Val's going to know he's on his way through. 5-7 not quite connecting. Meanwhile, though, watch out for threes. He's not even required. Val is there, 16-13. And we've witnessed our first upset. SK take it.
Wow. An exciting match, and I think that's one of the more unlikely upsets in general. And Immortals unable to close it out after having, what was it, 10-6, I think, even winning the second pistol.
Absolutely nuts.
Absolutely nuts. I mean, SK played extremely well. They were hitting their entries, but Immortals, I mean, they basically threw away the best lead they could ask for moving into one of the better CT halves on any map. That's an upset, I mean, through and through.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, the first half was 9-6.
9-6.
So, Immortals only got 4 rounds on their CT side.
Yeah. And that's including the pistol.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won the pistol, they didn't get ecoed, and they still lost.
Incredibly rough stuff from Immortals, and their woes continue after the major qualifiers. We're curious if this would be their tournament to bounce back. Well, it hasn't started well. Still early days, of course. They're still going to be having opportunities to get themselves through the group stage, but SK will be absolutely delighted with that result.
Yeah. what's so rough is seeing Phelps play that well for so much of the map, and then in those critical moments in the end, come up short.
Absolutely, especially those pushes up Ivy when he died. I feel like that was maybe the moment they called the pause straight afterwards. They didn't really do much with the pause. I think they got the next round, but then after that they collapsed again. So
Yeah.
Immortals, I mean, they're struggling for air right now.
Definitely.
They seem to be drowning in amongst all their woes, but take nothing away from SK. They played solid Counter-Strike. I was curious what their T side would be like with 2 step-ins, and it was pretty solid.
Yeah, I mean, just looking extremely well prepared, right? I mean, they played the rounds out slowly. It seemed like everybody knew exactly what their role was, and they played relatively structured CS as well.
Again, though, that's us done for today. Myself and Launders, you have Henry G and Sadakis coming up, but we do have Smix with an interview just beforehand.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. You guys are moving on to the winners match against Astralis. And we'll talk about Astralis a little bit later, but let's talk about the match you guys just played. This match against Immortals was the closest match we've seen. So walk us through what happened. The score seemed pretty neck and neck for the whole time.
Yeah, we started off bad. We haven't really practiced together, so not on train, so the CT side was really shaky, but I knew we have played them at Infinity where we got 1 T round, but we messed up everything. We knew how they played, and we did a perfect job as T.
And I know that you had just mentioned with 2 stand-ins, it is really, really hard to prepare. Despite that, you guys were able to come out with the victory. So I'm just wondering, what are your guys' sort of expectations for this event in general, knowing that it is not the usual roster that you play with?
The expectation is the same. I think we have even better players like Magisboy. We need him, of course, but I think Glaive can fully fill in for Pimp. I don't think Pimp was the good team player. He was a beast himself, but Glaive is a lot better team player, and it helps me a lot to do my own game. So I did better than I've done the last half year, so it's good at least.
And I know that the other stand-in player that you guys have, Valda, this is actually his first big LAN event. So how do you feel that he's doing and stepping up so far?
He did perfectly. I think he's the same as Magisboy. He have the biggest talent. We have 3 guys in Denmark, Config, Magisboy and Valde, and they're gonna be big stars in this game.
All right, and as I mentioned earlier, you guys will be playing Astralis in the winners match. Of course, they are a very, very tough opponent. So when you have sort of a very tough obstacle in front of you like that, what is the sort of mindset you come into with?
I don't know. We will do our best. We beat them at E-League 1 week ago. On 1 map at least. We got owned on the next. It depends on the map. They have to win. They need to win. They are the best team in Denmark. They can't afford to lose to a team with 2 stand-ins.
Well, if that match doesn't go in your guys' favor, obviously it doesn't mean you guys are out. You guys can still come out of the group. So in terms of when you look at the group in general, how do you guys feel about your chance on moving on?
The chances is there. It's even about the ends, Immortals and us. I think everyone can go through.
All right then, well thank you very much, Reese, and best of luck. Of course, that does mean that SK Gaming will be moving on to play Astralis in the winners match.
Great stuff across the board there from Sue and Freaks. I like his statement as well about Astralis. Like, well, they're the best team in Denmark, and we've got 2 stand-ins. And that did not stop them. What on earth has gone on? The desk believed in the Brazilians, and it was a mistake. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Immortals do crumble and fall to the lower bracket. Vendetta for Flaren. It's kind of going to be a bit of an intriguing one. I want you to explain what on earth happened and why did the favorites fall?
Well, first off, I think, Freeze kind of put it nicely, their CT side was shaky, so Immortals were able to get a pretty decent TF out of it in the end, as we kind of expected, but their CT side was woeful, and I think one of the players I highlighted as one to watch in Phelps, he did a really good job doing the T side. On the CT side, he had a lot of weird situations where he goes for aggressive peaks. He was very active in Ivy, which I guess could be positive, but it gave away so many opening kills that SK were able to work with. And that was one of the biggest fears we had for SK, whether or not they would actually be able to do anything with a potential man advantage, and they were.
Yeah, I mean, normally when you have 2 stand-ins, it's a CT side that's going to be better compared to your T side, right? You only have to play the positions.
Yeah.
Here we saw vice versa, and again, I was talking about Immortals coming into this game where it feels like they just think that they are a much better team than what they really are, and this in the major qualifier, this game right here as well, fundamental mistakes that just occurs within this team, and it's not like they have the strats. You saw their T side; they had executes. They were taking map control. A lot of missed shots from Phelps, and one missed.
Henny as well.
Yeah, I missed a lot of shots, and I think these guys now they just end up crumbling.
It does look like they're kind of heading, like, well, careening towards rock bottom. Like, I mean, you haven't made the major, you're struggling to get into some leagues, and now here in an event that often, you'd kind of push them to be close to the victors of. I mean, let's not forget they found success in Austin, another Dreamhack Open. Now they're here, and you'd expect them to replicate that. Falling to SK with stand-ins, Halvor, that's going to be weighing heavy on their minds now.
It's a horrible result for them, and that's not trying to take a jab at SK at all, but it's like we said, they're playing with 2 stand-ins they're not supposed to win. So Immortals have a lot to work through. I guess again it comes back to the to the saying that you learn a lot from a loss, and there's definitely a ton they can pick up on their CT side, because that was woefully weak, and I don't really understand how a team that practices as much, at least the impression that we get from them, that they practice a ton, how they can still have the exact same CT side and make the same errors that allows SK to be like, well, we played them at the Gfinity, they're doing the same thing again, now we're just abusing it. That shouldn't happen.
I mean, what you have to address, and just to put into perspective why this is an upset, is not only do they have stand-ins, but when they had their full 5 roster at Gfinity, at SIBO Finals, you look at the results, it was something like they played them 6 times, and SK won 1 map.
Yeah.
SK won 1 of 6, and they've just turned up here in a best of 1 with 2 stand-ins, and let's just touch on the stand-ins as well.
Yeah.
Probably the biggest game for, I don't want to make sure I pronounce it right, Valde. I knew I was going to butcher it. Either way, but like that was kind of one of the biggest games and biggest stages he's played on. Turns up in quite a big way statistically.
Yeah, and well, Freeze said it during the interview, one of the 3 biggest talents that Denmark has to offer. He kind of came out of nowhere, starting to play with Copenhagen Wolves and those guys, and doing really well for himself there. I know he plays in the FPL Challenger as well, and he's doming heads left and right each and every day. So definitely a scary talent to look forward to. Glaive statistically didn't have the greatest games, but what SK did really well on their T side, in my opinion, was the fact that they kept the core of the SK team to the same position, doing the same thing they would actually when SK plays with the full lineup, and then they had Glaive and Valda, who are very familiar with each other, work their way and do work towards Ivy, and that worked out really well for them.
Yeah, I mean, a huge congratulations extended towards SK, who have caused that bit of an upset. They have rocked the boat early here. I said the first 2 games went as planned, but let's look at the brackets to get our head around where that leaves us. Astralis will meet SK, another Danish affair, and that's going to be coming up later on today. And we will be seeing Immortals versus Ents in a battle for survival to get 1 step closer to that grand prize. Elsewhere, you can see where we're going next. Bottom left corner, Hellraisers versus Godsent is going to be our next match, and should Godsent win it, we're going to be seeing the rematch from Malmö. NIP versus Godsent. That's a big if. We'll be talking all about that and more after our break. But before we go to a break, there's a couple of things I've got to do. First is I've got to take a sip from this mug. Got to just do this and tell you that there's something about, hang on, check out the G2A contest and win a wide selection of prizes. There's a link below. Okay, done that one. And also the Score Esports application. You can go ahead and check it out on your smartphone. We're going to go have a walkthrough of how to use the app. So we're going to do that, guys. When we come back, though, Hellraisers versus Godsent. 1 best of 1. We get to see how Oscar and the boys are looking, or if Pronax is going to guide the Swedes to the upper bracket.